Hey, what's up? Welcome to Space Couch. How you doing? Oh, hold on. We flew too close to a solar flare. Oh, and the Oort cloud and a nebula all at the same time. That's the first time we've ever had a triple space incident. I'm just going to scroll through life support here, and oh, something's coming through on the display. What could that be? Call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. We have Matt in the chat room already. You are first, sir. Straight up space couch time. He says, so that is very apropos and fantastic of you to say. And oh, Mordith, what in Twitch? What's up, man? We are going to just do a little bit of that. And okay, sweet. Now I know that we're not going to careen into the void. How you doing down there on planet Earth? I hear these stories up here in space that you guys are kind of going through it still. Or so I hear. You know, space time gets warped out here in the fringes of the cosmos, so I can't always tell. And if is in the chat room, what's going on? Um, Going to get right into it. Our guest and I have already been talking before the episode, and I just kind of want to continue the conversation because he's a fascinating dude. But if we don't pay fealty to our sponsors, our tyrannical sponsors, we will be blasted out of the sky with 18 to 19 lasers. Here are our benevolent overlords, Tiger Squawk Records. Want to tell you about Subtract from Beta Virus. Oh, it's so hot. It's so steamy. It's so good. Galaxy in Flames from Industrial. Warhammer 40K Industrial. Battle Ready from Sugar Plum Suicide. Irish Vokes, Serene. Dropped at Squidface from Pill Brigade. Also, Old School Reboot from Pill Brigade. Check that out. It's really good. Cythery from Superstar Science Fiction. Probably his best. Agoraphobic Sweetheart from All Star Isserly. It's out now. It's Gasoline Invertebrate. And more Space Couch tonight. We've never done 2 episodes in a day before, but we're helping out with the Mechanismus Festival, online festival. I offered him both Gasoline Invertebrate and the Gossicles, and he said, can we do Space Couch? So thank you for sticking around for Space Couch. Speaking of Tiger Squawk, real quick, one more thing. Probably going to drop the Tiger Squawk DJ sampler for Q2 Friday. So sign up at this URL if you're a DJ or if you know a DJ and you want the new sampler. Pro tip, I can't tell if you're a DJ or not, so you could sign up there anyway. Right. We have got Beth in the chat room. Hey, what's going on? Grasp Logic. Science Fiction himself is in here. Oh, Vein Collector missing in stars. Dan and everybody. So, yes, speaking of Gasoline Invertebrate, Um, this is the first of the Kickstarter series. Our guest was very helpful and got the top prize, which got you a spot here on Space Couch. And I'm glad that he did because I'm already learning so much. Uh, if you have been to an industrial show in New England, and not even just Rhode Island or Boston, like in New England, you probably know our guest, giant supporter of the scene, fascinating individual. Let's just get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Where did I put that shortcut? Here is Ray. What's going on, buddy?
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, welcome here to space. Um, you know, I know it may be difficult with everybody working from home to send that signal all the way from Providence up here into the vastness of the void, but I do appreciate it, and it's pretty cool, you man. So wow. Okay. We got so much to get into. Yes, it is, Ray. So I mean, how you been in these wild? Wait, I gotta fix this just a little bit because you are wearing a shirt of our sponsor today for Tiger Squawk Records. So I do want to thank you for that. Um, what's up, man? How are you doing in this crazy Corona
Yeah,
universe?
yeah. For the past 2 months, I pretty much been locked up at home, working from home. The kids are pretty much doing digital learning for the rest of the year,
That's pretty
so
wild.
they're home as well. And while when this whole thing started, my wife, she works as a CNA at people that she takes care of elderly people.
So
So she started that job as like when it started.
Oh God! Wait, she started working uh, at ground zero, essentially, right when the thing started.
Yes, that is
Goodness! Oh
correct.
my God! So you're homeschooling, working at home, and your wife is a medical professional.
Yes,
That is
that is correct.
wild, man. Wow! And so she gets home at like we were. I know because we were talking about the show. She gets home at like ass o'clock in the morning.
Like yeah. She works the third shift, so like by the time like with the first 2 weeks while it was happening, she's trying to get used to the shift as well as the digital learning starting at the
Goodness
same time.
gracious!
So she thought she had to do everything at like 8 o'clock when she first started coming home.
Just
And so she'd come home from her shift and it's like, all right, time for school
oh
now. And it's
God,
like, oh,
she's trying to save people's lives from the apocalypse, and then she's got to like teach your kids about the Louisiana Purchase before sleeping. Like
yeah, right. Exactly.
that
That's
is
exactly what happened.
crazy. Uh, well, I'm happy you're toughing it out, and we're able to join us here. Um, speaking of medicality, I have somehow crushed my left rotator cuff, but it only
Oh
hurts if I
no.
move in like this really specific motion. So if I yelp, don't worry about it. That's just I found the way to injure my arm, and I have a green soy calf coffee cup today, so it's gonna be semi materializing here in space. So that's why you see space in my coffee cup. But enough about me. Let's get back to you. Give me a little bit of your background and how you got into industrial music, because we
Oh wow.
we chiefly know each other through like shows and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah. So actually like the first song that it was an industrial but got me into more stuff like that was Berlin Metro.
Oh wow. Okay.
What happened Yeah. So what happened was I had an older cousin that was babysitting us. Her name was Yvette, and she was a Valley girl. She was straight up Valley girl. I'm
Okay.
telling you, like she lived in Alhambra in the Valley. She was the Valley
Just
girl.
like all the
So
Frank Zappa songs straight through. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, all the stereotypes, the whole works, the all the likes and everything like
Okay.
that. And so she was babysitting us, and at the time when I was a kid, I wasn't really allowed to listen to anything that was like rock and roll or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. I was had to because my dad's pretty strict. He had to listen to jazz and pretty much classical during that time.
Okay.
So she introduced me to K Rock, which
Oh
was the
yeah,
local LA station.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
I,
they played a lot of stuff like The Cure,
very cool. Yeah, I'm
Depeche Mode.
I live with you out here on the in the east. Now, when I'm Earth, I'm in Boston when I'm Earth, and I know very little about the West Coast, but I know about K Rock a little bit, just sort of legendarily. So this is really exciting to me. What's up to Thomas J. Novak and Amanda? Hey, what's up? Uh,
Yeah, that's the trooper over there. That's
Oh, that
the
is
one.
the
That's
trooper.
yeah, that's my wife.
Amanda,
Yeah,
you are a
yeah,
superhero. For all the superhero nerd talk we are about to get into, you are the true X-woman. So
yep.
you are rock and roll is verboten by you, but you have this K-Rock station and they're playing The Cure.
K Rock. Yeah, and yeah, back in the '80s, they used to play even By God 20, Front
Really?
242.
I didn't
So
know
I mean,
that.
in the '80s, yeah, exactly. Like in the mid '80s, late '80s, they had like DJs who were amazing that
Hmm.
would just mix up like I said, like the first time I heard By God 20, The Bog, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
off of K Rock.
Get out.
So yeah, yeah. So that started getting me on that path, like Front 242, By God 20. Then it started rolling into Skinny Puppy, of
Okay.
course, and like Ministry, and
Sure.
then it just from there it just blew
That
blew up. Everybody.
that is an amazing uh what I'll call industrial origin story. Like a lot of people, it's like, my older brother, or like I had a cooler friend that was like a couple years older. That's like he lent me a mixtape with like Neotech and 242 on there, and I was like, what is this magical thing? But I didn't know that. By God, 20's the bog of all things ever got spun on the radio, let alone
It
on the
did.
world famous K
Yeah,
Rock. Very cool. So
yeah.
you're coming up, and you like you have this great background from the radio, and just because we were talking about this a little bit beforehand, you were in the Marine Corps for 4
That
years.
is correct.
That's
Yeah, 96 to 2000. Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. I am fascinated. If you're in the Marine Corps, how does like a Grendel song where they sample like the Marine Corps, that whole Full Metal Jacket thing, like how does that strike you? Are you like that's pretty awesome, or is that like military cosplay, or how does that type of military industrial strike you as a actual Marine Corps person?
Yeah, me personally, I like some of the samples,
Hmm.
but like I understand like Matt from Caustic's take from it.
Hmm.
Stop sampling
Yeah.
Metal Jacket. I mean, yeah, I mean at some point, come on, you got to stop a
Well,
few
yeah,
of the
that's
for the
just
few same
repetition. I get
samples.
that, but like,
Exactly, yeah,
but
but,
the
but a
actual
lot of them.
go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. A lot of them are to like make a point though. Like
Yeah,
most of the songs you hear with those samples are like the opposite.
yeah,
Like I mean, a lot of those same like Ministry,
uh-huh.
those Ministry samples, they were like uh, on the other side of that. They're like this is like not
Right,
something
right,
you want to endorse.
right. I mean,
So,
yeah, like Ministry
but
sampling
I understand.
George Bush isn't, a campaign song for him or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing is like all their samples, like a lot of industrial samples are not like pro military. They're like
Right.
quite the opposite, but they'll sample those in. But I'm good with that. I can understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was just
absolutely.
curious as to like, if just because I like Grendel, like that, and not to harp on them, but like if you're in the Marine Corps and the song is talking about the Marine Corps, I'm just curious as to like how that goes down.
Yeah,
But
I'm good with it.
cool,
Yeah.
man, cool. So what having been introduced to industrial music at such an early age, I'm curious as to like what are you listening to like now, and what's like your
Now.
favorite of like all time, like
Oh wow.
low
Okay.
stakes, like
All
what's
right.
on your playlist right now, and then what's on like your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Yes. So right now, of course, the gasoline inverter rhythm just dropped.
Yeah, woo! Out now from Tiger Squad Records.
I am loving that
Oh,
album.
thanks, man. Thank you.
That's definitely on like the loop all like
Oh,
since you released it. Um, yeah, yeah, it's awesome. That whole thing is amazing.
oh, thank you, thank
Um,
you. I worked hard on that shit.
yeah, the new Black Nail Cabaret that came
Oh,
out.
nice.
I was listening to that. They just streamed a live show yesterday,
Oh,
which was
cool.
amazing, like 2 o'clock because they were on Europe time.
Okay,
So they streamed an hour set, and they're if you haven't seen or heard of them, I would recommend them
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, totally. No,
Um,
definitely know them.
Mary Catman just dropped out a new
It's so
two.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I bought it, and then my wife liked it so much, she's like, I'm gonna go to Bandcamp and I'm gonna buy it again,
Nice, nice.
so she can play it in the car and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
So I was like,
great.
yeah,
That's
okay, go ahead.
great. I love that. I mean, it's
Um,
not expensive and it's awesome. We
sure.
uh fourth guest of the show, I think, Mary Catman. So we definitely endorse that particular project.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen her live. I think 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, yeah, it's good
Yeah,
every time.
because she's a New Englander, and she around this area.
Hmm.
I've caught her show, two for Helix, and then like 5 or 6 from like her solo
Mm,
stuff, which is amazing.
yeah.
Um, yeah, she's great. She's
No, she's
awesome.
really great. No, she's really good.
The new Trust, well, it's like not new, but Trust. I've been listening to that.
Oh yeah, cool. I should get that. I didn't. Yeah, I got Joyland and it failed to keep up from there. Thank you for mentioning that. I'll try out the new
Yeah,
Trust.
they're good. The new Down City Armory, been listening to
Woo!
that. They have actually a remix to that. I know you're going to be a part of a show that was,
I was
supposed to
supposed
be
to.
this
Yeah.
with them. Yeah, yeah. But they're great.
Cool.
They just dropped that yesterday. Yeah, they
Yeah.
dropped it, and it's good stuff. It's like an album story kind of concept
Oh,
where it's really dark, and it's like a near future kind of situation.
cool. Okay. I am a sucker for a the lost art of the narrative album. So I you have sold me on that particular disc. I mean, they're friends, so it's like I wasn't gonna get it, but
Right.
thank you for the
Yep.
heads up on that, sir.
And the two other ones they're pretty new that I've been listening to are Industrial and
Oh, hey,
Sugar
nice.
Plum Suicide from of course Tiger Squad.
Oh, you are the best. See, fucking soldier right here in more ways than one. Thank you so much. I also will thank you for being the one time we've ever done gasoline publicly. You were one of the few people that were there.
I was I'm so proud to be that show. That was
That
amazing.
was great.
That was great.
Not only did we get to play with the wonderful mannequin. Oh, Dre's in the chat room. What's going on of Noisebox? We got to try out a pretty cool set, and I've told this story on the show before, but just because you're here, these a bunch of like what I would call sort of like jockey broy dudes in like Patriots jackets showed up, and like in my head I'm like, oh, shit, you guys are at the wrong motherfucking place. But those guys are amazing. They're like the best. They're the best fans. So like. Eggs on my face. Don't judge a book by its cover. But
Definitely not. Yeah.
so
Oh,
not
the other part. I think the other part of your question was who's my favorite of all time.
you got it, man.
Yeah. So my favorite of all time is Depeche Mode.
Nice, nice, good answer.
I
I've never heard of them. Do they have any records out? I'm kidding.
They have a
They
few.
got a
They got a
few, one or
few.
two.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite era?
I don't, because
Hmm.
like if you look hard, like for me, like if you look like in almost in any era, you'll find some really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I didn't make that question clear. Like, for specifically Depeche Mode, but like
oh, Depeche. Oh,
the answer of I mean,
for Depeche.
it's still an apt answer. Like, I know you might have meant industrial music on the whole, but like, you really
Oh, yeah.
can't, I think, go wrong with any sort of flavor of Depeche. But I'm curious, is you like if you have Depeche Mode era that speaks to you more than others?
I I actually do. I think it's from Black Celebration all the way up to Songs in Faith and Devotion would be
Nice,
like
nice.
my era. That I mean, I still like their new stuff. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but like from that time, yeah, Violator was in that. Is I mean, that was it was like Black
totally.
Celebration, Music for the Masses. It came out after that, and then Violator, and then Songs of Faith and Devotion. That those four albums just really had a an impact on my life,
Okay.
and not only that, it's like they're like to me they're really great songs as
They're
well.
great. Yeah, I'm like, but I do like the idea of, I can, like, I'll be like, let's just put in Violator again, and then, but I'll go back to like Exciter or whatever, and that's like, it's still really good. Like, it's a lot of range. Amanda says Violator. Yeah. Uh, definitely a classic. I mean, they did People Are People when they were like 18 or something like that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
So they were 22, yeah,
22.
like
I
that
mean,
came in 94, yeah,
I
yeah.
was
People are people.
I was I was stumbling over a Yamaha QY10 when I was 22. I wasn't releasing um tracks that like still pack a dance floor. Like you could drop that at any of the Alchemy nights there in Providence and totally fine. So uh
I think I think a big impact on that era too was Alan Wilder's influence during
mhm.
that time. Yeah, he left the band after Songs of Faith and
Okay,
Devotion,
yeah.
but his like I don't know how to say it, soundscaping, I
Sure.
guess.
Yeah.
Like he has like the ability to bring a mood
Yeah.
to certain songs, like it bring like a background, like when you like close your eyes, you like feel like you're maybe in somewhere else
Mm.
because of those sounds.
That's very
And that Alan Wilder
No, that's very erudite.
did
Sorry,
a good
I
job.
got excited, so I didn't mean to talk over you. But like, yeah, he did a project after that called Recoil, I think,
Recoil,
and
yes, yes, he does.
that was very. I didn't put this together, but like that was very and uh, pardon the pun, spacious. This kind of like you're floating through like a gelatinous cube, and I didn't put it together that that's what was kind of missing post him in Depeche. Not that I don't like post Alan Wilder Depeche Mode. I am not an expert. I'm presenting myself as such, but that's very smart. Dan Gunther says, "Boy Sigo." We have if you're in the chat
That's
room,
early, yeah,
be it
early stuff. Yeah,
Twitch,
that
YouTube, or Facebook, or the one random person that watches us on VK.com, drop your favorite Depeche Mode album in the chat room. Um, okay, so we got to address the nerdy elephant in the room. I see some
oh
Deadpool
boy.
merchandise, literally in your room. I see some Deadpool merchandise behind you, some Funko
And
Pops,
the space couch pillow too, you
and
see.
the space. You were the guy that got the space couch pillow.
Yeah, you
Ah,
lean on space
yes.
couch pillow.
Oh, David says violator. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a lane change on this flying couch right into comic bookery because uh, second only to industrial music, it's a topic we love here on the Cosmic Couch. Um, are you reading any comics or have enjoyed any comic related media lately?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a little bit late on the game, but I've been following them on like when I get a chance on digital format. I read them, and right now I am reading House of X
Oh,
and
cool,
Power of X. Yeah,
cool.
it's like an X-Men reboot. They're starting from the beginning.
Oh,
This is
wow.
like the latest reboot. They did it from last year.
Hmm.
It's pretty interesting stuff. They changed some stuff around, like the Crocoa, or ever you pronounce that. It's like a living being now, and it's there's like flowers that do certain stuff
Mm,
to X-Men as well as humans. It's pretty crazy concept. I just started into it, but it's very good. I would recommend it. Yeah.
cool, 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 cool. And yeah, and in just sort of sussing out where we're gonna go with the episode, you're kind of an X-Man guy, yeah?
I am, yeah. I
Nice.
like like that's where I started. Like when I was a kid, I
Yeah.
used to. I actually like some of the first. books I collected was the Extinction Agenda. Like
Yeah.
89, 90, and that was like a crossover between X-Men, X Factor, and the New Mutants all at the
Oh,
same time. So
damn.
you'd have to buy one per
Oh
week for
god,
each one of
yeah.
them because
The crossovers used to be so crazy. Like, I just want to find out what happens to this guy, and I gotta buy like 9 different titles. Like,
that
uh,
exactly.
were
Yeah,
you?
so those 9 books, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, right. Like, Dre says, "Speak and spell," and Big Time Kill is in the place and says, "Ray rules." Um,
Thank you, Adam.
were you a fan of the X Men cartoon as a kid?
I was. That was the other thing too. Yeah,
That was
like for the time. Like I mean, people like look on it now. It's like, oh, it's kind of cheesy. But back then, that was like, whoa, this is like amazing
amazing.
stuff. You know?
Yes, I do.
That
Like,
was
I'm excited to talk about the X Men cartoon a little bit, just because, like, if you go back and watch, like, yes, the animation's pretty rough. Like the Wolverine claw swipe has about 4 stops across the screen, but canonically, like they did it, man. They didn't like invent their own dumb little. They did like the Legacy virus. They did Dark Phoenix. They did all the Deathbird stuff. It was like these
they
insane
brought in
plot lines.
Bishop.
What's that?
The
They
Bishop
Bishop.
storyline
They
when
did
he
Savage Land.
comes
They
from
did
the
all these like
future.
yes, dude. That was if I like if I'm in the back of my mom's Toyota Previa in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's getting close to like X-Men time, I'm freaking out. Like this is before like streaming or any of that shit where you could just like watch it whenever you wanted. Like we have to get home and watch the X-Men or my whole week is going to be ruined. But I shout out to the X-Men cartoon. Um, what have you thought of the X-Men so far in I mean, we live in like a nerd paradise right now for cinema. Pretty much we've covered
Yeah,
everybody in some
yeah. So
fashion. Days of Future says Ray, Dre, excuse me. What have you liked any movies in particular or what?
yeah, it's tough on as far as the X-Men movies. I
Yeah,
mean, I love the X-Men, but I my opinion is they really haven't done the X-Men justice yet.
interesting. Okay.
I mean, the last ones were decent. They were decent, but they're not on the level that the MCU is.
Mm,
You know what I mean? They're not
totally.
they're
Yeah,
not there.
they're not like
If
those MCU movies, with exceptions that we're all kind of thinking of, but by and large, are so good. And I
yeah,
don't know that I thought X2 was great, and I loved personally. I thought Deadpool 2 was like a manna from heaven, like just little, just it's so good. Just put it into my body. And Deadpool 1 was great as well. Oh, Dre also says the X-Men cartoon theme song, the best. But
yeah.
I
Very
do.
catchy.
That's it.
It was very
Yeah.
catchy.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
like,
the
I'll just be like at my day job, just like working on some code, and be like, "Brung, ding, 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 ding." It's still there after whatever 30 years or something. But yeah, there's been some pretty whack uh, X-Men movies. I haven't even seen the Apocalypse one. I guess we'll get there. But
yeah
interesting.
the very first movie they did. I'll give them a lot of credit. I mean, because
Hmm.
that was one of the first superhero movies that they did on
Right.
that level. That one was decent for its time,
Hmm.
but like when they did two and the third one, the last one is it was just like they lost me.
Last one was pretty brutal. I could just see what they were trying to do, and it just didn't make sense. And I don't know, man. Like like the whole like we can read like mutant power levels for the first time, even though it's the third movie. We're just gonna throw that in there. I don't. Whatever, it's fine. Like I'm happy they did it. Like it's weird that we live in a world where like my mom knows who Tony Stark is. Like I think that's pretty awesome, but there have been some misses. Um, give me that your I'll use the term again, Mount Rushmore of superheroes? Like, who are your four favorites?
Four favorites. I would say Spider-Man, Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
because those are the first like superheroes I loved
Mm-hmm.
growing up. Because like Spider-Man was like that cartoon, that the first cartoon I watched, and the Hulk was like an actually live action series. I know like
Hmm.
cheesy it is, but those were
No, that
what
was
got me into.
yeah. I watched it with my dad. No, it's a good call on the Hulk live action series.
Yeah, and I would say Cyclops, even
Nice.
though like lately they did him wrong, but like back in the '90s,
He was the
the
shit.
'90s it was what, yeah, he was a leader. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was great.
He was the Leonardo of the
I
X
mean,
Men.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, would say Cyclops, and last but not least, Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Deadpool,
Okay. All right.
And Deadpool, like Roosevelt, has cheated death many times. So they have those two. So they have that parallel.
Perfect. Who is the most underrated X Men in your opinion? X Man, excuse me.
I, I would say Forge.
Four. Mm,
Forge,
mm,
yeah,
perfect
For
answer.
yeah,
We haven't seen
yeah,
him.
because yeah, he's like really not featured in the movie. So like, I mean, unless you're like into comic books, you're not really gonna know him about Forge
Right.
that much. But
He's.
about the thing about Forge is he's kind of like X-Men's Tony Stark because he was a weapons contractor.
Mhm.
And the thing about it, he's like super smart. He's got like he's like genius level IQ, and his one of his abilities is to break like machines down,
Mhm.
like how to build them as well as how to destroy them,
Mhm.
like how to neutralize them. He's really good at that. And
Right.
so I think with all the technology and everything like that, with everything going to all the mechanical machines, like Forge is like a
Yeah, that's a
genius
perfect
with
answer.
that.
Like he's in the background of like every comic book. I don't think he might have showed up on that cartoon. Definitely not in the movies. And then if you go back and read a comic book from the 90s, you're like, who's this guy with like the rat tail and the mustache? Sometimes who's like we can't figure out if he's Native American or not. Sometimes he is. Like he's this guy that like kind of makes everything work, and then we just forget about him in any popular media. Media, I meant to say. That's a great answer. Matt says X-Men cartoon was the only good representation of Rogue, uh, and Cyclops in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was great. Yes, says Denisha. Um, so, uh,
Hi Matt, hi Denisha, hi Dave.
who do you
Sorry
think would
about
make a great series? Like, if we did any superhero that hasn't been seen in like a Netflix show or like a movie or something like that, is
Oh yeah. Would a reboot count as
oh
that?
yeah, sure. I mean, it's Space
Or
Couch. We can do whatever we want.
like,
We're in international
all right.
waters.
So for me, I'm a big Robotech fan.
Oh hell
So
yes.
I would love it if they either did one of two things. They could
Okay.
go either way. They could make a live action Robotech
Mhm.
movie, like just with Matt Cross. They would have to probably split it out to like at least 3 films.
Mhm.
With today's CGI, I think that would be like amazing.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, you can have like Aldris Alba as Captain Global.
Yeah.
Um, like Tom Holland is Rick Hunter because he's like the young
You got
guy.
Tom
So yeah,
Holland
he
for
makes
Rick.
Rick Hunter.
Okay. I love that. I love that.
And Chris Hemsworth is like kind of getting up on years. He's like the veteran now,
Totally.
so maybe Roy Fokker for him.
Oh. Oh, you put some thought into this. What is up to Roy? Um, do you have anybody for
But
Min May?
Min May, oh, that's a good one. I have not yet, but yeah. I mean, I
We'll
don't know.
we'll
Yeah, that's
figure
a
it
good
out. We'll
question.
figure it
I
out.
don't have anyone as Min May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
she's got to be kind of badass. So I don't know her name. Maybe the lady that played Arya Stark in Game of Thrones, but I don't know if that's a whitewashing thing.
Does
we'll
Does she
figure it
have the
out.
the singing chops though?
Oh
That's the thing.
yeah, yeah. There's that. Probably, you know.
That's what I was thinking. It's like it's hard to cast because Lin Manuel's role was all focused around that whole singing thing, and it was actually a weapon, in the
Oh
series.
yeah.
I
Oh,
watched
God,
it
I
because
forgot
I
about
don't want to
that.
spoil anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
that her voice was a weapon against the Centrani. So I
Yes.
would think like you'd have to like cast like someone with like
I forgot
amazing
about that.
singing
Yeah.
chops. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
The other the other thing I was thinking about this thing is if they did a reboot as a Netflix series, which
Okay.
would also be awesome.
Mm.
Just
Animated
like
or?
like Voltron.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking Voltron too. That Voltron was
Like
pretty awesome. So
give
yeah.
it to Netflix. Yeah, because I don't know Harmony. I mean, Harmony Gold owned this property. I don't know if they do that, but I love that Voltron series. I thought it was better than the original.
Totally, dude.
So for them to take the reins for Robotech, I think it would be great. And one thing too that I wanted to like mention is if you watch Voltron, they actually brought in Roy Fokker as an Easter egg in episode 1.
Get out. Really? I missed it.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, everyone does. It's only like a couple minutes, a couple seconds kind of deal, but they snuck them in. It's when Pidge and I forget who else, they're like trying to hide from everybody.
Uh huh.
But if when they're passing the officers' lounge, they show the officers' lounge, and Roy Fokker is in the officers'
Get out. That's
lounge.
cool.
Yes,
Uh.
yeah. So I mean, watch it again. You'll see like just that part. You'll see
Okay. That
Roy
is.
Fokker there.
This is worth price of admission. Just because I didn't know there was a Robotech Easter egg in Voltron. Roy says Anna Kana for Minmay. Denisha volunteers Rinko Kikuchi.
There you go.
Like them both.
That's awesome, Denisha. Yeah,
Um,
I
well, yeah, very good. Like, I mean, yeah, that Voltron. I've never done this. But hold on for just 1 second, Ray. I'm gonna be right back.
sure.
I just I wanted to show the people. You can't see this, I know, but I keep a Lotar action figure, an original, not a new one. But we got so into that Voltron show, we have Lotar watching over our kitchen. So that's all I wanted to show you. Um,
Yes.
the
Yes.
the so okay, 11 out of 10 points for suggesting a Macross thing. Like, yeah, that was probably my first anime. As like, I'm not really like an anime person, but like I remember, kind of classifying these cartoons when I was like a little kid. Like a couple of these cartoons just look different than the other ones. They have their own sort of vibe to them, and I couldn't put it together. But I knew there was a certain style of cartoon. I was like, okay, these are really cool. And then, they started turning into giant walking robots, and I was like, all right, now I'm in. Um,
Yeah,
the
what brought me into Robotech is the giant robots. Of course, I was like amazed by that. But like you keep on watching, and it's got a pretty good storyline. And the thing about it is, when you're a kid, you don't expect like main characters to like pass away.
right, like that
You're
was
like,
wild.
what that just happened? I mean, he's gone.
Right, right.
You know, and he's like a main character. You're like, that just happened, and it happens with multiple characters. It just like, wow,
Yeah, I
they did
mean,
that.
like you get so used to He-Man or Thundercats or something where it'll be fine in 20 minutes. Whatever's happening on the screen right now in front of my little 9-year-old, 4.5-year-old mind, eyes, and everything will be fine. And then there was these weird cartoons from some place called Japan that like characters would die, and that was like next level. I want to get into this.
One
Go on.
one thing I wanted to
Yeah.
add is to Robotech is one thing I also loved is that music played a big role in all
Mm,
three of the sagas.
good call, man.
Um, yeah, so just wanted to mention that like
Yeah,
all three of the
well,
sagas very music is plays a big role.
with I uh my Macross knowledge gets weak, but I think it's when they're fighting the Invid. There's like a cross-dressing rock star is
There
like
is
it's
Lance.
yeah,
He's he's one
it's pretty
he's one of my
wild.
favorite characters.
Oh, great, great, like
Yep.
Yellow Dancer or something like that.
Yes, that's his alternate
Okay,
identity is
cool,
Yellow Dancer.
cool.
So
All right,
he yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and then that's his gig is like when he's undercover. Yeah, they that's his because he's just waiting for more military backup
okay,
on the Earth. But during that time, he builds himself as being a performer and a really great singer and everything. So
pretty progressive for the
Yellow
time.
Dancer is right. Yeah, they were talking like '86.
That's
So I
pretty
mean,
awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, never really thought about that, but like, yeah, he's one of my favorite characters. I
Very
love Lance.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, now I now I want to spend the rest of the episode talking about a potential Macross reboot, but we're not because I also want to get into this. Your Earth terrestrial base is in a city that I had no experience with which I had no experience before moving to the East Coast, and now I'm there uh, more often than I thought I would be. That's not true, but Providence, Rhode Island is about what, an hour and a half, depending on traffic.
About an hour.
About an
Yeah.
hour away from Boston, and I'm loving it. Like, uh, we've had some great gigs there. Of course, the Necronomicon Festival. It's stomping grounds of
Yep.
my boy H.P. Lovecraft, and
It is.
I I'm coming online to the general vibe of Providence, but not quite there yet. So like, give me the lowdown on Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh wow. One of the things about Rhode Island is the people that live here. They don't like to like move to other places that often. They like stay their whole lives in Providence.
Really?
They kind of
Okay.
reminds me of. They kind of remind me of you watch Lord of the Rings, of course.
Sure.
Like the Hobbits,
Okay.
they didn't want to leave the Shire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Providence is the Shire. Okay. No, that's great.
yeah. So like my wife is one of those hobbits. She didn't want to leave the Shire, so I had to move over here.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's
And
a small city. It's like I don't. You had a guest like earlier,
mhm.
like in your series. DJ Adam Bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
He kind of like stated about like Boston with harsh weather, harsh people. I would say that's like true, holds true for Providence as
Mhm.
well. There's some awesome people here, but I mean, they tend to build like relationships their whole life, so they tend to be a little standoffish.
Mhm.
But I mean the wet like the weather years.
Yeah.
I mean we had a pretty easy wet winter this year, but
Mhm.
I mean during the winters usually it's pretty rough with the snow and
Yeah.
everything. So Boston, it's similar to Boston,
Yeah.
that
I mean,
area
it's an hour away,
in
but
that and well, a lot of people don't know about Providence though. Is it's actually headquarters to Hasbro.
oh, what?
Yep,
Really?
and has yeah,
Like
yep,
Dungeons and
and
Dragons
has
owners, Hasbro? Awesome. I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. Hasbro also owns, Wizard of the Coast, which is also owned by
Yeah.
so that's all. Yeah, it has. That yeah, the headquarters is over here. So also CVS headquarters
Hmm.
is located in Providence, and of course, like everything like Lovecraft is of course a big part of
Yeah.
Providence as well.
Awesome.
It has its own charm though. The thing is, like, yeah, I've lived here for almost like 20 years, so
Uh,
it's kind of grown on me.
right. I get. Yeah. I'm seeing it, of course, through rose-colored time machine glasses, because like Heidi and I did the Lovecraft walk, through the downtown area for Necronomicon, and like, just walking, but holy shit, that's the actual Shun house, and all that was pretty great, and just kind of walking in his erstwhile footsteps was cool, and some really great views and stuff. And the one gig we played was in a pretty cool venue next to a strip club in a warehouse. like a corrugated steel aluminum siding warehouse strip club, which I hear is also Providency, but it's very beautiful too. The first thing you wanted to do when I asked what you wanted to talk about here on Space Couch was I want to give a shout out to Gothic Unseen.
Oh yeah,
So go
definitely
for it,
wanted
man.
to.
What's that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely wanted to do that. Like,
Mm.
have the opportunity to do that while I was on here. I love those people. Liz, Matt, Amy, Ben, all the people that are involved with those shows. They bring the shows like the great artists to Providence, and I'm so appreciative of them. I mean, they're so great, and they've always been the awesomest people there
Mm.
too. I mean, I love them. I mean, I love you guys. If you're on here, I love you
Yeah,
guys.
it was pretty awesome to be like, uh, I knew very few people here in New England, and they were one of the first people to be like, "Hey, the Gothicals, do you want to come headline a show in at Alchemy?" And that was awesome. I mean, there was there's like a Lovecraft store across the street. There's a Captain
I,
American Avengers arcade machine in the building, and the symbol for alchemy is that like weird occult symbol, and this is awesome.
yeah, yeah. I think that was the first time I met
You
you,
met and you
and
yeah
I bought that. Remember
the altar.
the Gothical altar?
There's like
Yes, and I put it right in the lights
yeah, that's the
where the
best.
finish.
There's like three or four of
I
those
had
in
to.
existence. So thank you for getting one of the four. I think if you bring them together, they shoot like lasers out of them, like the fucking Phantom. But like the three skulls in the Phantom. Why did I reference that movie? But yeah, Gothic Unseen does some pretty amazing things. They just did a Gasoline interview, so shout out to them. Matt's in the room right now, and
Yeah, love you
Elizabeth is
too,
from
Matt.
Wisconsin originally, like myself. So we got.
Yeah, yeah.
It was weird to move out to Boston and then talk about like Wisconsin shit. Like remember saying bubbler and pot soda and all that. But so definitely good to them. I was looking forward to that Funker Folk show, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, looks like next year.
Okay. Um.
Yeah, I think around the same time, it's tentative June 21st of next year. I think has been
Okay.
like I think that's like they're still working out the details, but hopefully it'll still happen next year.
Yeah. I I I know we'll get back. I think we'll get back. I think we'll get back to normal sooner than later, or at least I hope we do. But and I am liking these online shows quite a bit, but I would like to see some live shows again.
Yep, looks
Matt,
like Matt just confirmed it. Yeah, 2021. I
cool.
guess they're
Thanks,
doing
dude.
the bunker bot. Yeah,
Fatagan. The I'm also interested in this. We talked about it a bit, but you are sort of sheltering in place with some kids, and you've posted about uh, playing some games with your son. I'm wondering what if you could give maybe some. We have some parents in the chat room or something. What are some of the best games to play with your kids?
oh, it's an interesting time where you asked that, but Animal Crossing would be definitely one of
Okay,
those games.
very cool.
It's
Yes,
it's cool.
I'm glad you brought up Animal Crossing because you were sort of the king of New England band shirts in Animal
Yeah,
Crossing. So thank you, Big Time Kill, Morris Black. Um, can other people? I don't play Animal Crossing.
Down City Armory. I did Down City Armory
Darm
one
City
too.
Armory. Can people get those? Like, is there like,
Helix.
are they publicly available?
They are. Yeah.
Okay.
What it is you go into a little place, Abel's Sisters. They're like they make clothes pretty much,
Hmm.
and there's a kiosk you can use, and you use the code that's on what I posted.
Hmm.
There's a code that they can use, and then they can download it to their game, and they can use it, and they can wear it for their little characters.
Fantastically. So, Down City Armory, Helix, uh, Morris Black, the ghouls, and some wonderful, wonderful,
Oh,
uh,
Fatigue too. I did a Fatigue one too.
Fatigue, former guest of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, so the if you decide your Animal Crossing character needs a New England industrial band shirt, Ray's the king of that. Big time kill. Yes. Um, we played just in a weird aside, like we played a show in Amityville, New York, of all places, like 3 days after. It was like really quickly after I moved with Mary Catman and Big Time Kill, and that like sort of set the stage for this wonderful journey that like we went on with those wonderful people. So I'm happy they're coming up this much on this episode. So if you were to design Grand Theft Auto Providence, like would you what kind of things would be in Grand Theft Auto Providence? Like would you rob a RISD student
Uh,
or
the funny part, yeah, funny part of Grand Theft Auto, I really haven't played that much,
okay.
but I'm hoping. Do you get power ups in that game?
Sure,
Any like
yeah,
power ups that give you?
you can in yours if you want.
Yeah, in mine, I would. Yeah. So
Okay.
like for the power ups for Grand Theft Auto Providence, you'd have to include hot wieners,
Okay, is that a
Dunkin'
thing?
Donuts coffee.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
thing, yeah. It's over here. It's like they're hot dogs, but they don't call them hot dogs. They call them hot wieners, and they
Hot wieners,
load a
all
bunch of
right.
stuff on them, on
Okay,
onions and meat sauce, and the whole works. And
okay.
yeah, it's an experience. So people, as you know, in New England are big in their Dunkin' Donuts coffee, so you'd have
Okay,
to include
yeah.
that.
Yeah, the save points in a dunks.
Yep, and also Dell's Lemonade, which is a Rhode Island thing during the
Okay.
summertime. It's like frozen lemonade. It's
All right.
fantastic. So you have
Okay.
to definitely include those as power ups.
All right, great.
Some of the stuff you might do in the game. One of the things Providence is known for is the Big Blue Bug.
Okay.
It's there's like an extermination company over here, and they
All
have
right.
this big thing. Like if you pass by in the highway, like
Yeah.
it's a big blue bug. You'd probably have to like destroy it or something. I
Okay,
don't know.
okay. Very cool. Sort of like the Sitco sign in Boston. It's like this giant thing that's just it's there. It's now it's part of the
It's
city. And
there.
okay.
Yeah,
Very cool. I didn't know that. I'll
they
look for
give
the big blue bug.
they give it a like during the winter they like dress it up like it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you
They get like
definitely have
antlers
to
and
get
stuff.
like a rocket launcher and blow up the big blue bug in
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Okay, can you carjack one of those gondolas? Like, cause they have like those.
That'd be a thing. Yeah, I would definitely include that game because like during like I'm glad you brought that up because like during certain times of the year, like during the warmer months, they have a
Uh,
thing called water fire over here, and it's all across the Providence River, like in downtown Providence, and they have these things that are lit up on the river, so they call it water fire. But during that time, like they have gondolas that will like ride across the river.
yeah.
So like that'd be definitely part of
Awesome,
Grand Theft
awesome.
Auto, just jacking the gondola and do
That's
whatever
hilarious.
shenanigans from the gondola.
Very
Um,
real
yeah,
quick
yeah,
shout out
definitely a
to
thing.
Jesse Hunt from Cyanotic and Conformco in the room. Okay, I'm loving Grand Theft Auto Providence. I mean, you kind of have to summon an Eldritch Horror kind of thing at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah, definitely. Like steal like the Necrocomicon from the
Yeah.
museum or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely include that. And another thing I would include was like over here the news like like recently we've been running into like wild turkeys
Really?
like swarming. Yeah, it's made like news like a couple times. And there was this one time where there was this particular turkey and that was like the cops couldn't even catch him. He was like
Oh
running
wow.
up utility poles and all sorts of stuff.
It's a
It was
Looney Tunes character. That's hilarious. Uh,
so you probably have to capture a wild turkey
oh
in
God, I love
Providence.
that. That's awesome. Um, okay, so if anybody is connected in studios and wants to make Grand Theft Auto Providence or the Forge Netflix series or that Robotech reboot. We got ideas. We got ideas. We'll do it live on the Space Couch with Ray. Um, we are on a rogue flight path out here on this flying half a couch I have in space, and we're gonna bring it back onto the station in a second. But you've been to so many live shows, and are such an aficionado. I'm curious if you have any opinions as to like if you see any trends right now in industrial, or and what you think like the
Yeah.
next thing might be.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, like, as you know, industrial is like pretty broad
Pretty
umbrella
broad.
these days. So like recently, I've seen like a post punk kind of movement going on
Mm-hmm.
with like bands like uh Panic Priest
Mm-hmm.
and like actors,
Totally.
Wingtips and Twin Tribes, Corrine. So there's been like, I mean, that's kind of like, I know like industrial is like a pretty big umbrella. Usually, a lot of people include those bands as being a part of the umbrella.
I would.
So that's been recently. That's been a big thing, and it's I've been noticing a lot of two-piece bands
Hmm.
that have added like that old school like 80s guitar, like the
Mm.
Cure kind of guitar, or Cocteau's Twin
Mm.
kind of like that tuned in guitar sound. So
Very cool.
that's what I've been seeing like lately as far as industrial scenes going.
Very
Um,
cool.
like as of recent, like past 2 years, I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
Awesome. All right. Great answer. Um, we are gonna just we're coming right back on into the station. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you might want to say on Space Couch?
It's fun being here. I
Awesome.
thank you for having me over
Oh
here. It
no,
was a
thank
fun
you,
time.
man. Thank you. Do appreciate it. This has been a really fun one. I have to say you're welcome back. And I'll see you around. I mean, if the world doesn't
Absolutely, yeah.
if the
Oh
world doesn't
shoot! Wait,
melt,
one more thing. One more
yeah, go
thing.
ahead. We got
I'm
time.
sorry.
No worries.
So with, I don't know if you see these little
You
guys.
want to hold them up about 2 more
Next,
inches up. Okay, what's that?
it's Contra. You
Oh my God! Yeah,
propels I
yeah.
got you.
What you got? Wait, what?
Yeah, like
You got them for you?
yeah, those are yours.
What?
Yeah, so like I was like looking online, and
Ah!
it's like the biggest guy in the Contra I know. Like I love that game too. But like I was
Oh.
thinking, that's totally Brian. I'm gonna get him for him. I mean, they came in a set. Like you can't have one without the other. You
Oh
gotta have
man.
Bill and Lance together. So next time I see
Oh.
you, those are all be yours.
Why are you so good to me?
I
Oh.
totally forgot about that. I've been having on the side this whole time.
Oh God. Well, now I really hope that the coronavirus doesn't blow up the world, just so I can get Contra action figures and hang out with you and all the wonderful people in the chat room. Um, let's hope Cold Waves happens this year. We should be good for that one, right? That's in September.
I hope
But
so.
who knows, right? Um, but that is down the road. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna mute it for a second. I got to cough. I don't have the coronavirus. I had the brain tap swab where the thing goes so far back up your nose, but your your wife has to do that every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Oh
every two
God,
weeks.
that is
Yep.
fucking wild, man. Um, well, we'll have a Funko Pop made of her as
Definitely.
the so this is Brian for Space Couch for Ray for sort of Gothic Unseen for Providence. Thank you for helping out on that gasoline Kickstarter. Call the
Oh,
spaceships.
absolutely.
No problem. I don't have an outro catchphrase. I usually forget to say it, but at the beginning, so I didn't use it at the end. But I said it this time. So call the spaceships to Davenport. Part two. We'll come up with one. We'll come up with one. Um, Next week. I think we might have our first video game creator, but that's then. This
Oh
is
wow.
now. This is Ray for Space Couch saying bye, and we'll
See
go
ya.
to
Thank you,
the.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you have like a favorite saga during that time, like for Macro for Robotech?